cases globally, the death toll has now topped a staggering 3 million people.
India is in a dire COVID crisis.
Pipes are freezing and breaking across central and north Texas.
Partial collapse of a high-rise condominium building.
Israeli fighter jets struck targets in Gaza. This is in retaliation for repeated Hamas arson attacks on Israel.
Polls closed in Israel on Tuesday night, the fourth election in 2 years.
This was an incredibly challenging year. The pandemic, of course, and all the other crises that occupied our hearts and minds. We stepped up together to lead our community's COVID response because we were built for this. Since 1902, you've charged us with the responsibility of tackling the seemingly impossible challenges during uncertain times. And you stepped up when our community needed you most. Your generosity enabled us to do incredible work together, for our agencies to do together during these very difficult times.
Great needs present great opportunities for making a difference through philanthropy. Our donors wanted to know what they could do to help. Those that could stepped up in a big way.
The needs were far too great for our community to handle on our own, so we sought out grant opportunities that brought in millions of dollars in public funding. Every dollar that we brought in from outside the community was a philanthropic dollar that was reallocated to another pressing need. Collectively, we helped our local Jewish organizations secure over $30 million in federal grants and loans.
Recently, we helped raise $1.6 million through FEMA security grants to help protect the infrastructure of the Jewish community.
We continue to build community through team philanthropy, developing our next generation of philanthropists. And we still found a way to bring people together, even though we were still separated.
We were really, really excited when the Federation reached out, supported us every step of the way, and how it's successful, and it's only been a few months, and we've been seeing tons of new young Jewish faces at every event.
And in March, when COVID hit, suddenly I couldn't say Kaddish for my mom. I was so grateful because the Fund for Jewish Milwaukee provided money so that our synagogue could put up a tent. I could once again be surrounded by my community.
What an amazing thing that we never would have dreamt of, being able to celebrate Hanukkah in this very public, very special way. Happy Hanukkah.
It's our job to protect the Jewish community. We prepared our schools to be safer by providing HEPA air filtration systems and other PPE, as well as providing PPE to the broader Jewish community. We also protected our community and vacant buildings and cemeteries during COVID by doing security wellness checks.
Today, more than 350 people are going to get that first shot. This clinic here is a partnership between the JCC, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, and Hyatt Pharmacy.
The vaccine begins to bring us back home to the ideas of bringing community together.
The Fund for Jewish Milwaukee helped vulnerable groups like older adults who are feeling more isolated than ever during the pandemic. We empowered our agencies to be even more creative in how they work with older adults through virtual programs and in-person but socially distanced activities. Many others were at risk during the pandemic. Suicide attempts by young people were increased by 40% during this period. We helped by partnering to provide suicide prevention training.
So when COVID hit, we had to suspend the services of the adult day centers, but we've been able to do it in some very exciting new ways. We wrote a grant and received money from the Milwaukee Jewish Federation so that we can expand some of our art programs.
Even when the pandemic raged, the Federation kept an eye on and worked to combat rising anti-Semitism and hate in our state. The Nathan and Esther Peltz Holocaust Education Resource Center, together with the Jewish Community Relations Council and the Wisconsin Jewish Conference, helped to secure passage of a Holocaust education bill.
Other states across this nation require and encourage education about the Holocaust for students, and I am glad today Wisconsin will be joining them.
Anti-Semitism is rising. 36% increase from last year, roughly the same percentage increase from the year before. COVID has definitely inspired some changes in anti-Semitic words and actions.
Yet we need more than ever to come together now to stand in solidarity against anti-Semitism.
Through our needs assessment, we learned that food insecurity was the #1 problem facing the Jewish community. We provided funding to several programs that together address this concern.
So we switched to doing like a drive-through on the street where the pantry is.
By the end of the year, Feeding Families Initiative will have distributed 1,629 bags of food.
The Chabad Cares program that began right at the beginning of COVID. This is the way community is built, and this is the way community responds.
I am proud to be part of a long dynasty of shlichim that started in 1968, the longest running shlichut in North America and maybe in the whole wide world.
And we also see all the bombings in the skies from here, and I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that are here to support Israel.
We are very much a people of hope, and we are going to have to draw on those deep reserves of hope.
This year, we rose to the challenge of caring for the needs of the Jewish people and building a vibrant Jewish future in Milwaukee, Israel, and around the world. We are the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, and we were built for this.